Inflation. It's a word that makes economists sweat, and it makes the rest of us scratch our heads. To put it simply, inflation is like that friend who always eats off your plate at dinner. Your money, just like your dinner, doesn't go as far. Suddenly, your morning coffee costs more. That new gadget you had your eye on? Yeah, it's more expensive now. Inflation is like a sneaky fox, slowly chipping away at your purchasing power. But there's a flip side to inflation. A little bit of inflation is normal, even healthy for a growing economy. It's when inflation goes haywire that we have a problem. Think of Goldilocks and the three beds. Too cold, too hot, or just right. We need to find that sweet spot to keep the economy humming along. Now, let's talk about jobs. When prices go up, businesses make more money from their products. This often means they need more hands on deck to keep up with demand. So, they start hiring. More jobs mean more people with paychecks, which, in theory, should be a good thing. The economy starts to look like a busy marketplace, with everyone coming and going, buying and selling. However, this initial job market boom can be like a sugar rush. It might feel good at first, but like all sugar rushes, it can lead to a crash. Remember, inflation is still lurking in the background, and its effects are about to make things a whole lot more complicated. Here's where things get really interesting. As prices climb higher, workers start to feel the pinch. They need more money to buy the same things, so they start demanding higher wages. Fair enough, right? But here's the catch. When businesses have to pay their employees more, they often raise prices to cover those costs. This creates what economists call a wage price spiral. It's a vicious cycle that can be hard to break. On the one hand, it's good news for workers who see their paychecks grow. But on the other hand, those higher prices can end up lowering demand, forcing businesses to make tough choices. And you know what happens when demand falls? Yep, you guessed it, job losses. Remember that friend who was stealing food off your plate? Well, inflation has an insatiable appetite. As prices keep going up, your money doesn't go as far as it used to. That's because inflation erodes your buying power. Suddenly, that vacation you've been saving for seems like a distant dream. This decrease in buying power has a ripple effect throughout the entire economy. When people cut back on spending, businesses feel it. They might see their sales drop, forcing them to lay off employees. And so, the cycle of inflation and job losses continues. High unemployment isn't just bad news for those out of work. It's bad news for everyone. When people are unemployed, they have less money to spend. This leads to a decrease in consumer spending, which can slow down the entire economy. Businesses struggle to stay afloat, and the government misses out on vital tax revenue. It's a sobering thought, but it highlights the interconnectedness of inflation, employment, and the overall health of our economy. When one of these elements gets out of whack, it can throw the whole system off balance. So how do we navigate this complex maze of inflation and employment? It's a delicate balancing act. Governments and central banks have to find ways to keep inflation in check without stifling economic growth. This might involve raising interest rates, controlling government spending, or implementing policies to boost productivity. It's a constant juggling act, and there's no easy solution. But by understanding the intricate relationship between inflation and employment, we can start making more informed decisions about how to create a more stable and prosperous economy for everyone.